Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica.
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I am just dandy. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young.
And
And we are here to rant and rave.
Jessica.
Yeah. Yes.
We have a new element today. That's why we're being so weird.
I know.
I mean, it's not new for us, but what's going to be done with it is new for us.
Yes.
And I seriously doubt it's going to be out this week. So hold on, everybody. We have a friend who is insistent that he cannot believe that we've been recording video for 2 years and just not using it. And that is true. That is absolutely the case. So he asked me this week if I would send him the video of me and Jessica so that he can show me that it's not that hard to use YouTube and just put the video up. So anyway, this is the first time we're recording like this anyway.
That's right.
Knowing that people are going to see us. And I would say, well, just right off the bat, we have weird backgrounds.
Well, just right off the bat, let's point out that we thought that the movement was because we don't have a green screen. Dana does have a green screen.
And
I watched her professional roadie set it up behind her.
Tipton. Yes.
And it's still shaking, and she's got a green screen.
Yeah, I think Zoom is a little better. We use StreamYard. I don't know. I'm not here to insult anybody's software, but I did kindly put up a real picture of my home.
Yes.
And that way, if people want to walk through, they will be invisible or just a floating head. Also, it was a little darker in here today, so I used a picture where there was more sunlight on my planties just to showcase them.
I love it.
I feel like a weather person trying to point. So if we're a little awkward, it's because we know we're being watched. I seriously doubt this will be out this week because I don't know. We have to release this episode in 12 hours. And it's just something we're working with. It's something for you to look forward to, hopefully, to see our crazy faces as we say our crazy words. You would think, since we're both actresses, that this would be like easy peasy, but it's nerve-wracking.
It's more awkward, I think, to do things like this where we're supposed to just be natural and let it flow than it is to plan something.
For real. Yeah,
right?
100%. And like the only reason I even look halfway normal, although I did barrette my bangs down because they drive me crazy, is because I have a self-tape here in a little bit. So from now on, if we do this, I doubt I'm going to look this good. I put that in air quotes.
I even thought about that. I'm like, she's going to look so good and have makeup on. And I did my usual wear my blue light filters because in my mind's eye, that takes away and it's less distracting for me not having a lot of makeup on. I put on a little cover up. Not that anyone would ever know over these bags.
Oh my God.
But I did.
I love those glasses. I own a pair of those glasses. They look nothing like that on my face. And
I don't believe it.
It's the truth. Even Dan was like, yikes, those are big. He said chunky, I think is what he said. Those are pretty
chunky glasses. Well, I like a chunky glass.
You look good in a chunky glass. I don't look so great. But why I wanted them even more is because I was like, look at the top of those frames. I'll never have to draw my eyebrows on if I want to just like, it's like a hat for my eyebrows.
Dana, I never thought about that. And I do not have good eyebrows. Look, they are my brow.
They are your brow. They act as your brow in a cute, like fun, smart girl way.
Thanks.
Yeah. Let me sip my Monster, not an ad. Y'all know I just drink Monster. See, it's weird knowing people can see me because I have to tattle on myself audibly otherwise, which I guess I do. So what difference does it make?
I wish they could have seen when I opened my nitro draft latte that
It
exploded
exploded
all
on you.
over the desk
It
and onto the
exploded on
floor.
you. Whatever.
Whew, we are really starting this week off with a bang, aren't we?
Oh, for sure. I have done nothing all weekend. So got a lot to make up for. All right, Jessica. How was your week?
You know what? It was kind of wild. I saw one of our dear friends that was in town,
Who was it? People know who he is.
Mr. Ronnie Karam of Watch
Yes.
What Crappens.
So funny. Such
Oh
a funny man.
my God. I mean, it's ridiculous. He evokes joy. Okay.
Yeah, that's his podcast, by the way. I don't know if we said that.
Yes, Watch What Crappens if
Yeah.
you are a fan of and I didn't realize, and I felt so dumb. This is like when you're embarrassed to tell a friend, like, I didn't realize you did all of that. I always knew that they did recaps of the Real Housewives, right?
Sure.
Which there's like a million cities now that they go to and do.
Right.
He also does Below Deck and a number of other shows for Bravo.
Oh,
So
okay.
he
Well, he had always done that before. I mean, he wrote
did.
articles and stuff for Watch What Crappens TV, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how he got started.
It's crazy, but now I just didn't realize how he records like 7 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Can
that
you
is his
imagine? That's
full-time
his full-time
job,
job. Yeah.
but it's a lot.
Well, which is why we have never taken this extra step, because you and I are so busy in our day-to-day lives anyway.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. People think that you just slap stuff off.
No.
You know, people think TikTok users and people who make internet content, it's like, oh, they're just doing it. It's not doing it. No, it is all a ton of work. There's editing. There's coming up with new content. Where Ronnie's concerned, he's also still writing. Like, I mean, plus
Yes.
has to consume the content he's talking about. Like, it's all of this is so much, which is why we're not promising this video thing becomes a constant, but we're trying to eke towards, as we've been saying for going on 3 years now, a Patreon and things like that to make this more of a, you know, we do care about this project. We really do. It's not like we're just throwing it out for shits and giggles. Like, we like getting good word out there about wonderful things. I think I've grown as a person and a human being, learning
100%.
about all these other areas and types of community service and charities and ways you can give back. Like, it's just made me a better human. So that's why we continue to do this. But we could give more. We're going to try.
Mhm.
We're not
You know what?
Ronnie. I know that. He's great.
Well, you know what else I love is like when through this we have gotten to connect with people literally all over the world.
Yes.
And to know that there are like-minded people in every corner, and as far as New Zealand, in small little towns all over the United States.
Yes.
We love it.
Yeah.
And I applaud all of you who maybe are somewhere where you don't have as many like-minded people around you. I know that's the case for some, and that can be really hard.
I get a lot of messages like that from our listeners,
Yeah.
that in the area I live, there aren't very many like-minded people. It's such a relief to listen and feel like I have someone who believes like me nearby, you know, and that's good. That's good.
Absolutely.
I mean, not like we're a huge political podcast or anything, but we have strong beliefs about dickheads. That's for sure. That's universal. We all hate a dickhead.
Right.
Unless they're really hot, and then we're like, I guess I can put up with it for a month or two, and then we're like, no. Hasn't everyone had that story in their life? Like some person, be it a dude or a lady, whatever, it doesn't matter the sex of the person or their sexual gender identity, they're just a dick. And you're like, I'll give you a pass, because we've been conditioned to give pretty people passes in society. Dana Powell ain't been getting many passes, if you can see why.
You fool.
Yeah.
I just got so excited. I just banged the microphone with my boobs, which are really in the way now that after 3 years I'm learning to put the microphone right in front of me.
I made you move your mic. I would like you to turn it up a little bit. Is that a possibility?
Oh, it's all the way up.
Okay, all right. That's all right. I'm not going to mess with it then.
You guys, before COVID happened, I used to sit next to Dana in her lovely sunken living room, very reminiscent of my grandparents' house. No, I'm serious. I love that. And we would sit, and I had the mic right in front of me, but that was also when I had like my Sony Walkman headphones from 28 years ago.
God, yes. Mm-hmm.
Now we're semi-profesh, and I have all this equipment, some owned, some loaned, and I still can't seem to get my mouth right around this mic.
Well, you do move your mouth around a lot. You all do. It's fine. I do it sometimes too. But usually this is why I don't want people watching me, because I'm like this with my mic.
And I'm always doing this because I'm sniveling or trying not to Darth Vader into your face.
Oh, this is new and scary. Oh, well, we're going to do our best, aren't we?
We are.
And for the people that are only listening to this, they're like, this is the weirdest podcast I've ever listened to. We're going to try and get over it. It's just a new, fresh thing. We've been secretly looking at each other all this time.
That's right.
You guys weren't going to. So, like, I could have picked my nose if I wanted.
Yes.
Or
there's a lot of things we do.
I have, to be honest, I have answered a phone call.
Yes.
While we were recording. I will not do that today. Okay. Are we ready, Jessica? Is there anything super important about this week you need to tell me?
No, not
at all. All right. Well, you want to tell everybody how to get a hold of us first?
You know what? That would be swell. So you guys, many of you have already found us and follow us. You can go to Instagram and Facebook at the Rants and Raves podcast. You can go to Twitter at raves_the. You can send us a direct email at the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com, or go to the contact button on our website, www.therantsandраvespodcast.com.
Yes, ma'am. I guess just in case there's people new to us on YouTube, I guess we should tell people kind of what we're about. Is that something worth doing?
Sure, go for it.
I mean, we've been on the podcast air for almost coming up on 3 years now. We're called the Rants and Raves podcast. I'm Dana Powell. I am an actress, and Jessica Young also is an actress.
Yes.
You have seen us on things like I played Pam on Modern Family.
Cam's sister.
Yeah. Jessica was on We the People. You've seen us on things like Curb Your Enthusiasm, Veep, Blackish.
You've seen Dana on those things, not me.
Jessica,
Let's make that abundantly clear.
We are a team, and you are equally as talented, if not more so, than me. Okay?
The closest I ever got to being on Curb Your Enthusiasm was a workshop with Jeff Garland 15 years ago at I.O. West.
All right. Well, Jessica is an undiscovered treasure at this point.
Oh, thank you.
You are. I tell you that all the time. That's not just for these fancy cameras all around us.
Hey, I know another thing that you were on that people constantly, I see, comment about online, or they have mentioned it when they've written into us, The Good Place. And a lot of people found us because they said they listened to that podcast and heard you as a guest.
I was a guest on The Good Place podcast.
That's right.
I was on The Good Place board committee, the Good Place committee, for a few episodes. Yeah, that was fun. So anyway, we are just a couple of ladies who really enjoy each other, and we rant about just sometimes important things that need to be ranted about.
In my opinion, they're all important.
And in Jessica's opinion, everything that's rant worthy is very important. But it is, you guys, especially right now, we're in unprecedented times. We need a little bit of normalcy. And sometimes we just need to complain about ketchup packets because that's normal.
Yes.
Right? Is that normal to complain about ketchup packets? Why are they always sticky? And can I only have 2?
And how do some places have the audacity to give you fancy ketchup packets instead of Heinz?
Jessica, I can't handle you right now. So we get those rants out, a big tenet of our show is we like to do that cleansing breath. We get all this angsty aggravation out of the way, and then we like to fill up with goodness, be it some funny stories, some good news stories,
Yep.
a charity that we've learned about, a way you can give back. So we are the Rants and Raves podcast. Please write to us. We love hearing from people. We want to hear your rants. We want to hear what you think about what we've said. We have a mindfulness corner. We can be wrong. It's pretty rare. I mean, it's pretty rare. But anyway, we're an interactive podcast. We want to hear from you guys. And we've been lucky enough over the last almost 3 years to actually become friends with a lot of you. And it's very special.
We love it.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think it's time to get right into our rants. I feel like, Jessica, you are itching for this one.
Oh, well, if you guys haven't already heard the musical stylings of someone on my roof right now, maybe you will throughout this podcast. I mean, I'm going to go broad and then bring it in.
Fun, it's like a ride.
My rant is about not being notified or given a heads up to things that you should, to warn people for a variety of reasons. We're in LA. I know it doesn't even cross my landlord's mind that maybe I'd be recording something, or now that half the world works at home, maybe you're on a work Zoom with a client or your boss or the whole team of employees that you're a part of. I woke up this morning to stomping, and I mean like a literal hoedown going on the roof. Okay, I was like, what the hell? My roof, I'm sure I've talked about it before.
You have,
the last few
you
months.
should, because this has been a years long. I'm bad for you. This has been a years long problem.
It's insane. Dana has known me long enough where she's like, what? Hasn't that been happening for literally like 14 years? I'm like, yep. So long story short, our roof has been leaking. I don't mean a drip. I don't mean a trickle, which that's unacceptable. I mean literally to the point where I had to go to Target and buy tubs and put them everywhere because there were so many leaks that I couldn't contain them all.
Yeah.
Leaked through the bed and the mattress. Okay. We're having to replace our mattress. I have not slept in this room. This is our bedroom. I've been sleeping in a tiny bed with my husband in our guest room for the last 2 months almost.
Well, at least you and your husband are not super tall.
Right. It makes sense to be in a tiny bed that I already didn't feel as big enough when it was just me. Okay.
You guys are both so tall.
It's cuddle time in that bed, okay? And yes, it's a queen size bed, okay? My husband is 6'2", I'm 5'10", and neither of us are slight individuals, okay?
Here's where it gets real and raw, y'all. Yes, Henry? Like, they know I'm recording. It's a shared environment, and I would much rather have my cute son going, hey, mommy, than having dirty roof water drip through my ceiling and ruin my mattress. You know how much a mattress costs?
I thought you were about to say dirty roofers. Which would not be a lie because they're using tar. And I think
I'm sure
how great it smells in here.
The stink. It reminds me of elementary school. It felt like they were forever tar patching something.
Why? Yes. If it wasn't the asphalt, it was the freaking asbestos-filled roof.
Something was always being tarred.
My God. You guys, I wake up to the stomping on the roof, okay? No notice given. I've been waiting. My landlord, when he came to finally assess the damage, did a walkthrough, not one apology, couldn't have acted like it was not a big deal, tried to claim that the leak that opened up the ceiling in our upstairs hallway was from the air conditioner. No, it wasn't, fool. And we haven't had the air on in months. It's been freezing here.
Right.
Dana, I need you to know that I got out of bed. I was so angry. I was so tired. I went to bed really late last night. I come in here to use the bathroom. And then all of a sudden I look up. There's somebody standing on the skylight over my bathroom while I'm trying to evacuate my bowels.
Oh my God. I have a skylight in my bathroom. I thought I was the only one.
No.
Is that a California thing?
I guess.
I got to be honest. I love it because I never have to turn a light on there in the daytime. However, if I was sitting on the pee-pee and I saw a man up there, I would lose my mind.
You know where it would come in handy? In the actual part of the bathroom where there's a mirror. So I could give myself the Wolfman special instead of in my car when I'm at a traffic light, because that's the only time I can see it. No, it's where the shower is. And one of those heaters from 1950 that if you accidentally turn on that switch, your face will melt off like Toke, the character that Dana dressed as, that melts his face off at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Is it one of those in the wall, old school, like,
It's in the ceiling and it's like,
oh, okay, yeah.
And it is
Also, only OG listeners know what a Wolfman special is. You need to explain yourself.
That is the whole thing. That is from the nose down to the décolleté.
What? Hair removal?
Hair removal.
You don't need a Wolfman.
Yes, I do. On a weekly basis. You want me to get real? On a weekly basis. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror on Super Bowl Sunday when I was walking up to a, thank God, very, very small gathering. And I seriously thought, what do I look like and what have people thought about me as I walk through this town? Because
Are crazy.
No, absolute insanity. And I do not know why you cannot see it unless it's in broad daylight at just the right angle. Again, the car. Somebody needs to come up with some kind of apparatus that you walk into that emulates the inside of a car in the perfect daylight.
It's very revealing. And you know what? We're not the only ones who think so. Do you know how many times I have seen people full-blown pull out tweezers at a stoplight?
That's me.
And I'm not mad
You're
at
seeing
them.
me. And sometimes
I'm not mad about it because I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Well, sometimes I think, oh my God, and I pull up or it'll be like a car of men and I'm like, don't I have any self-respect? I'm like, I don't care anymore.
I'm not living for those men anyway.
Same. I just don't care. I'm like, what? They're going to see me again? They're going to laugh about that lady? Go laugh
or
your
they're going to be like,
off.
they're going to be like, that redhead was so cute until she started giving herself the Wolfman special. And then I was like, I can't see it anymore. I can't see the hotness anymore. It disappeared when those tweezers came. She tweezed the hotness out of her face. That's not happening. That's not happening. Okay, so you're on the toilet and a man's staring at you. Am I caught up?
Yes. All I can say is this has now been going on for 5.5 hours. It smells like the bowels of hell in here from the hot tar. Yes. Yeah. There is a car or a truck, like an open flatbed truck outside. It's like, brrr. It sounds like the freaking heater in my bathroom, but it's just churning tar around. And they're just carrying it up in buckets like Mickey Mouse in the Sorcerer's Apprentice up a ladder.
Completely insulted that you're talking like me to imitate the tar workers that you apparently think are hillbillies. Why did you put me in the position of employment at your tar fixer? Hey, Jessica, just got here, got a full batch of tar ready. You're going to be sleeping good real soon.
You're going to be sleeping good because I'm going to be passed out from the fumes.
Nah, you'll get over it. You wake up tomorrow, go order yourself one of them new mattresses. Get a real good one, real expensive, because ain't nothing coming through this roof again today. Dadgummit. Woo! Bring on the rain. That's what you just acted out, Jessica.
Well, it's a lot more interesting than the guy who's been leaning on that freaking truck, scrolling through his phone the whole time.
Because
what is he doing?
What's he doing?
To make sure it doesn't bubble over like a witch's.
Oh, maybe.
He's
like
just
a what?
leaning on a witch's cauldron.
Okay. Yeah.
Not okay. Anyways, I've been smelling it. If I pass out or start talking crazy, no, it's not the normal Jessica crazy. It's because I am inhaling too much carbon dioxide and fumes from the tar. I feel lightheaded.
And yes, wake up, Jessica. We've got stuff to do. I agree with you. Here's the thing that bothers me about it too. This has been such an ongoing problem for so
Yes.
long. And then when they finally decide to do maybe something about it, they don't even let you know it's going to happen because you're right.
No.
We're in a time where a lot of people are working from home. Not to
Yes.
mention today specifically is actually a holiday. God forbid you wanted to like relax at home.
That's what I mean. Sleep in. Maybe you have company. I don't
Right.
know.
But if the guy doesn't care enough to fix your roof from leaking for the last 17 years, he don't
Uh-huh.
care about your time or
No.
space or anything anyway. It
No.
just sucks all around.
Yep.
Oy, it's disrespectful.
Also, the amount of smashing that I hear, I don't know anything about roofing. I do know about hammering, and I do know that it sounds like they are using the hammer of Thor to knock in the nails on that new roofing that should have been done a million years ago. Okay?
Yeah.
Rant over. Let people know when you're planning to come and do some major repair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Major.
Whether you have to go inside their house or not, if it's going to affect their environment, you need to let them know.
Also, the whole building can hear it. I heard my neighbors coming out saying, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, for sure.
Ugh.
Well, happy President's Day.
Yeah, happy President's Day indeed. I guess I'll go buy a mattress. It's the only time they're on
They're
sale
on
the whole
sale,
year
so
long.
it works out well, I guess.
And why is that? Why did President's Day become a
Well,
mattress
and Labor
sale
Day.
holiday?
Isn't Labor Day as well? President's Day and
Yeah,
Labor
maybe
Day?
Memorial Day. They use all the Americana holidays to sell mattresses. Why?
I don't know, it is a weird habit. Do other
It's
countries
really
do that?
weird. I don't think so. Do
Like,
other
are there
countries have President's Day?
well, isn't there a Canada Day?
Yeah, but that's like our Independence Day. Canada Day is
Well,
on
we get
July
mattress sales
1st.
on Independence Day too, so it must be the same.
Well, that's my birthday. Maybe that's why I've never noticed.
Oh, yeah. Get yourself a mattress for your birthday. I'm sorry, Jessica, that
It's
sucks.
okay.
The last thing you want is to see a human hovering above your toilet in the mornings.
Thank you. I don't want it to be
I don't want
anyone.
it to be a human or an animal. I don't want to see anything hovering above my toilet in the morning.
I get mad enough when it's a stork the size of a crane
Yeah.
and they're constantly on the skylight.
Is that true?
I see and hear crows
Where are they
pecking
coming
and
well, crows I understand, but like a heron? Oh, not a
no,
rooster
I'm
stork.
saying they're the cranes and the cranes. The
The
crows in my neighborhood are like the size of storks.
that
They're
jumbled up my
abnormally huge.
that jumbled my brains because over near me, I go to this place I call my peaceful place, and we
Yes.
actually do have legitimate, like, baby carrying storks
Yes.
there. It's crazy.
I know.
We also do have because some people have said to me, "Oh, is it just a pelican?" We have those as well. There's a significant difference.
Right.
And then we also have white and black herons.
Which are
Beautiful.
beautiful. They're
Yeah.
so elegant.
But I could see a murder of crows peeping on you while you go potty.
Yeah.
I could see that. That would be they're ornery sometimes.
They're
They
crazy.
they can be ornery,
Mhm.
those crows.
Indeed.
Mhm. All right. Well, are we ready to move on or do you
Yes.
okay.
No.
Yes.
I'm so angry about it. I'd like to hear about something else.
Yes, okay, I'll move on. My rant is stickers that come apart when you try to peel them off. This is funny to me because I just heard a mom talking about this. And leave paper and adhesive residue behind that you have to scrape off. Goo Gone will stain it. A scraper will scratch it. If you're giving it as a gift, it looks nasty. Just a bad deal all the way around. I have a friend that said, a mommy that said, I think it was a mommy that said, bad stickers are the stickiest. Like if you want something to stay, the cheaper the sticker, the longer it'll stay. And that is so true for exactly
Yes.
that reason, because they tear apart the
Uh-huh.
adhesive. Now, the Goo Gone, I guess it would stain if you had like a paper or something.
Yes.
Because I use Goo Gone all the time on glass.
Yes. But even that takes a lot of work to get. It's not like you
It
put it
does.
on and then just swipe it
No.
away.
No, there's a lot of rubbing. And it's not sensual at all because there's a lot of rubbing. Sounds like maybe it's sensual. It's not. It's not. It is infuriating because they make things. I have hair all over. These are the kinds of things that I do when you guys don't see me. I have like ollie hairs on my face that I'm trying to pull out of my nose and mouth. Okay, whatever. It sucks because there are viable ways to make things that just peel right off.
Yes. They also make stickers now that go on and lay flat and smooth that you literally just go, psh, there's
Yeah,
no
they're
adhesive
removable.
left.
Yes,
Uh,
because it's like a plastic on glass or plastic on a shiny surface or whatever that just like peels right off. No goo, no
yes.
adhesive. Yes.
So I bought jars, and I even thought maybe it's a difference in vendors or companies. I bought different glass jars and glass hurricanes at Target
Oh,
for a
okay.
client.
Sure.
The fancy name, like branded one, same problem with the sticker. The crappy, not crappy, but the really cheap no name ones,
Sure.
same thing. And I doused them with Windex. I laid them all over the counter and I sprayed the shit out of them with Windex. And if you knew the rubbing that went on, and all it did was ball up and disintegrate, and it was still a mess and it still left a residue.
Yes, you have to get all of it off, even with the Goo Gone. Now, if it's on glass, the Goo Gone, eventually you can get it all off and not stain, but it does
Sure.
take a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Goo Gone smells better than Windex, I guess. It's orange scented, isn't it?
Not the kind I have on the counter in there. It doesn't smell good.
Uh,
I didn't know orange was a possibility. Could be because I only buy it at the 99-cent store.
maybe, maybe not.
No,
Do you leave your tags on things? Do you just
no,
give up or say forget it? You take it
I
off.
can't. I'm anal in that way. I can't handle it.
I
It's
know.
all I will look at. Every time I see it, it's all I'll see.
It bugs me when I'm in people's houses, and I don't go and picking up stuff in friends' houses, but like if I'm in a client's home, and
Uh-huh.
it's my mom always did this. So many people don't take tags off, and it drives me nuts. Like on the back of a picture frame, on the bottom of a jar that's on the shelf or whatever. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I guess they're thinking no one's going to see it. Well, guess what? I saw it.
Jessica did. Jessica saw it. Yeah, it bugs me. It doesn't feel right to me. It feels unfinished, like I'm not properly respecting the product I bought.
Hilarious.
I
Yes.
can't handle it. And especially like I've been buying a lot of glass things from the thrift
Mhm.
store for terrariums. And
Yes.
then if I'm going to create this beautiful world inside of this see-through thing, I ain't leaving a sticker on there to ruin it.
No, not with
So
those cute little things with your handmade accoutrement.
my accoutrement, even your fancy word talk.
Ah,
I've just been making things out of resin, y'all.
hold it up. Look how cute.
This is just a little, what do you call this? Not a bevel, but
Cabochon.
okay, sure. It's just blue glitter, whatever.
Show one of the dinos.
Oh yeah, if you follow me on my Instagram, I showed one of these the other day.
It's so
And hung
cute.
out with actually our friend who is going to do the video for this and teach us how. I made it for him. I said it's a magical. I just like, is this the right word? I said to him, I like talismans. Is that the right word I'm looking
Yeah,
for?
sure, of
Like
course.
I just randomly assign magic to objects. I don't know
Yes.
why. I've always done that. I was telling him I have since I was a kid, a card that's a promo thing for
Yeah.
CSI that was Eric Stone Streets and his character and stats, and it was signed, and it was just something they made for promo for the show.
Right.
And he randomly gave it to me decades ago. But I've always carried that in my purse or in my wallet as a good luck talisman.
Yeah.
Or my daddy loves smashing pennies in the machines when you go somewhere.
Yes.
I have several of those in my wallet that are just like, you are loved, you are fine talismans for good luck
I
charms.
love that.
So I told my friend Jay I made this magical dinosaur and that
So freaking cute.
for him to carry or put in his room and just when he's having a hard day, know, well, somebody loves me or
Right?
good luck for my next project. Not that he needs it. He's totally talented. Maybe I need it. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I've been making that stuff. And guess what? I ain't putting stickers on it either. I don't need a label that's like, Dana made this, now it's ruined.
Okay. Unless it's a custom little label or metal stamp that's adhered to the back of your creations.
Oh my, you're so bougie. I saw your Instagram post about your punk tomate. or whatever at some restaurant I probably can't even pronounce. I'm
Okay.
busy fixing your roof, apparently.
I meant to send you that, you guys. We know how sometimes I can be real excited talking about food and fancy food at that.
Fancy.
And this might be the bougiest thing I've ever said or done in literally my entire life, because I know how erudite and weird it came off. And it's not my intention. And the people I was with all went to Dartmouth and are a lot smarter, and I guarantee a lot more successful than I am. If you saw the glares and they were not humored by it, I didn't know them. This was, I mean, full disclosure, this is after we went out for Ronnie's show. His co-host went to Dartmouth, and like people came from New York, and some friends drove down from the Bay Area and whatever. They all went to Dartmouth. They were all like super smart, nice, lovely people.
Right.
And the waiter brought over one of the dishes, and he's like showing it, and they're like, we didn't order that. And then somebody kept saying, who ordered the bruschetta? And I wasn't answering because I didn't order a bruschetta. And finally, somebody's like, Jess, didn't you order that? And I'm like, I don't know who ordered that. I ordered the pan con tomate, which means bread with tomato in Spanish.
Bruschetta.
Bruschetta. Yes.
Jessica.
It just didn't click. And if you saw the glares and disgust, these people didn't laugh. I know they were like, I don't know who the hell that woman thinks she is. What, did she live in Madrid?
Your big booming voice. I ordered the pan con tomate.
Yes. Can you imagine? Even my two friends, Ronnie and my friend Mike, were like, Jessica? I could tell that they were actually embarrassed.
No.
And Mike is bougier than I am.
No, they were not. They were just like, what are you doing, crazy lady? Did you order tomatoes and bread? That's really the question here.
Literally. It's when they grill bread and then like rub tomato into the rough bread and it like seeps into it. I know you are salivating at the thought because we all know Dana loves tomatoes.
Yeah. You just put tomato blood all soaking up in your bread.
Oh my God.
Well,
oh boy.
I guess what we've learned today is Jessica doesn't like to be stared at on the toilet. Jessica only wants fancy names for tomatoes and bread. And Jessica hates it if you leave a sticker on anything in your house. Is that what we learned?
I'm really angry at everything, it seems.
I love it.
You're not wrong.
It's okay. We got to get it out. Because now what we're going to do is take a cleansing breath. You got all that angsty, bougie.
I know that if I was with Dana and I had done that,
I would have called you out.
She would have probably snatched her purse and said, I got to go, and left the restaurant.
I would have called you out and said, you lay that, waiter, you lay that in front, server, you lay that in front of her, and you go, ma'am, here is exactly what you ordered, your tomatoes and bread. That's what I would have made happen. All right. Are you ready for a cleansing breath?
Oh, am I ever?
Okay. So one of the cornerstones of our show that we frequently forget is that we like to take a cleansing breath. We get out all this angsty feeling, all this slight anger, sometimes real anger, sometimes fear, like whatever we're feeling, we get it. We kind of get it all out. And then we like to take a cleansing breath and fill up the rest of the show with goodness, sometimes funny things, some charities, some ways you can give back to your community. And that's our show. So if you can scream it out, y'all do, because it feels real good. If you can't, at least take the time to take a breath with us, because I promise it'll feel nice. Are you ready? I'm so nervous. This is the first time anybody's going to see me take a breath. And I don't know if I'm a pretty breather. I don't think I'm a pretty breather.
I know I'm not.
Especially because I try to always go away from the microphone. So you're literally just going to see my vocal cords and my double chins. Here we go. All right, let's take a deep breath in. And
You have just heard a twice attempted to be repaired deviated septum and adenoid removal at its finest.
I don't know what adenoids are. All I thought of was the Domino's pizza superhero guy.
The Noid?
Annoyed. Yeah. You
Oh
had him
my
removed from
God.
your nose. I wish he was in your nose. That's kind of fun.
My God, I loved the Noid.
That was a bunch of so that was like Domino's mascot, I guess you'd call it, or
Yep,
whatever.
absolutely.
Back in the day of covered wagons. Okay, let's move on to our corners. Yes.
Yes,
Are you up first for corners?
I am. So this is a really, really weird story. And I saw the video and I
I did
kept
too.
rewatching it because I was like,
It's so
what?
apocalyptic. Like
It
I would
is.
literally grab my son and be like, "We have to get to the LA River and run."
Okay. And drive our car through it.
Yeah, or the scooter that I have for survival prep. No big deal. That's for another show.
Oh my God. This comes to us from Dana's favorite publication, UPI.com. That's
Oh.
United Press International.
I am always talking about how that's my favorite publication.
This is by Marianne Mazzara. And this happened just a couple of days ago, February 18th. Video captures moment when massive flock of birds fall from the sky in Mexico. You guys look it up and you will see. And like Dana said, it is apocalyptic. It looks like somebody was like in a building nearby and filmed a stunt.
Yes.
That is being done for a movie or a TV show.
What is that called where birds like they're in a flock and they
So
swim
cool.
and
I
dive
don't
together?
know.
There's a name for it, but you would know.
Mhm.
You see videos of it. It happens in nature, but it's rare to catch it. Where birds in a big flock,
Totally.
they fly all the same way and change directions so quickly.
Simultaneously. It's insane.
So at first you think that's what you're looking at with this, but it's not. Go ahead. Keep going.
And it also was weird that you're saying that because it reminds me of like what a school of fish does in the water almost,
yes, there's
right?
a name for that movement. I'm just not smart enough to think about it.
Well, now I want to figure out what that is because
While
I've
you're
never
reading,
heard of that.
maybe I'll
Okay.
find it.
Straight out of an eerie scene from a Hitchcock movie, scores of birds suddenly out of nowhere could be seen falling from the sky on a fairly calm day, many plummeting to their death. The strange event was captured on a home security camera, which is also nuts, but I guess that makes sense how it was caught. Nobody knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
In the city of Cuauhtémoc in Chihuahua, Mexico. The footage showed a rush of hundreds of yellow-headed blackbirds in a flash spiraling out of control to the ground in a residential neighborhood during the early morning hours. Many of the discombobulated birds were able to quickly gain flight again and take off, but others died after crashing into houses, cars, and each other or hitting the pavement hard with great speed. Wow. Residents came out of their homes later that morning to find their surprise dozens of dead bird carcasses littering the street in the Alvaro Obregon neighborhood. People immediately began posting videos of the dead birds on social media. It remains a mystery as to what exactly caused scores of birds to suddenly drop in a flash, although many locals and experts have speculated what might have disoriented or scared the birds to an extent. The weather at the time of the incident was rather calm, with temperatures in the mid-40s. A local veterinarian who was called in by authorities to examine the scene speculated that the birds may have become overwhelmed and disoriented from inhaling toxic fumes or coming into contact with electrical power lines that overloaded and unleashed a massive electric discharge, forcing them to plummet. I mean, that's crazy.
Awful.
A radio station in Mexico, La Ranchera de Cuauhtémoc, reported that the birds were apparently flying at a high speed when they lost stability and collided into one another. Dr. Andrew Farnsworth, a senior research associate at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, said he believes a more plausible explanation is that a predator or a loud disruptive sound spooked the birds. Okay, a predator, what? A giant hawk is going to cause hundreds of birds to go, ugh!
I mean, unless you're talking about like Cthulhu or something.
Thank you.
I don't don't believe that.
Like, I just don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
that was more plausible.
Right.
What caused the birds to behave so wildly? An event he called fascinating and frightening.
I
Maybe
mean,
something.
yeah, fascinating and devastating, all the death.
Okay. Maybe something biological, chemical, or environmental. Okay, you guys, I think we can all agree that nobody knows what happened. Nobody
Yeah.
has a logical explanation, not even the ornithology experts
No,
of
but
North
we should
America.
maybe try to figure it out because that's terrifying.
Here's one more thing. There's also a slim chance it's meteorological, like a microburst.
Of
What?
what?
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
interesting because I did find that word. It's called murmuration.
Oh,
As they fly, they seem to be connected together. They twist and turn and change direction at a moment's notice. How do hundreds of thousands of birds coordinate such complicated movement while in flight? So, murmuration is the name of the practice of
interesting.
flying around together like that. But it said, here it is, scientists have been surprised to learn that the flying patterns of murmurations have more in common with physics than biology.
Huh.
Much remains unknown about murmurations, but they believe that they may be able to describe the murmurations using the principles of physics.
Weird.
Hmm.
Well, I will tell you one last thing before I close this article down. Such incidents of mass bird deaths are apparently not uncommon, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, and occur at least once a week. What?
What were dead birds murmurations or dead birds falling from the sky? I think they
I
need to clarify that
agreed.
because
Most,
I don't walk around seeing birds just drop out of the sky dead.
I don't either. Most notable are the deaths that occurred at least 3 consecutive years on New Year's Eve between 2009 and 2011, when thousands of red winged blackbirds dropped from the sky, both times in Beebe, Arkansas, or Beebe, Beebe. In the 2009 incident, a state ornithologist reviewed radar images determining that rogue professional grade fireworks in neighborhood celebrations were the cause.
I would believe that for sure. But that wasn't going on in Mexico.
Okay. Or was
Weird.
it?
Are you trying to start a conspiracy about fireworks in Mexico? Because we all know that
No.
Mexico, that's where everybody goes to get their fireworks.
I know.
You're like, or is it?
Do you know what's so creepy? What this is making me think of? And it's on a way smaller scale. But one time when I showed up at a client's house, I walked up and I went, and in the front yard, and they had the most perfectly manicured, like it was so good, it looked like AstroTurf.
Mhm,
Perfect green grass. And Dana, there was two birds apart from each other
mhm,
that were dead. Beautiful. One was, I will never forget it. It's like burned into my mind. A yellow and black bird. It was
mhm,
so gorgeous. Small, like could fit in the palm of your hand.
mhm.
But two of them, but just laying there, no physical damage. At first, I'm like, did a cat or a dog get them? There was no visible damage, no rhyme or reason to it. And those birds were just sitting there dead. And it was horrifying. But I told them when I walked in, I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's two beautiful, perfectly preserved dead birds right outside the front door on the
In
lawn.
case you wanna grab them for taxidermy later.
I mean, the weirdo in me kind of did. And I'm not
Sure.
macabre,
I'm
but
sure.
it
Well,
was.
was it really hot? Because 'Cause I've had that happen here. I live in the valley, and it gets hotter and deeper in the
Oh.
valley, and, when it gets, like, 115 degrees out here, sometimes birdies will drop from the sky. It's too hot for them.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, this
Remember
was
how I said
up in the hills of Bel Air, so I think it was a little bit cooler.
remember how I said we were gonna fill up with goodness, and you're like, "You guys, a bunch of dead birds fell from the sky." One time here's the only story I have that can relate to that. One time when my middle sister was living out here, she was trying to get a job, and she went for a job interview, and I dropped her off, and as she walked in, a bird pooped on her head, and I said, "Oh, I hear that's good luck."
Good luck.
The end. Okay. That's the only way I can relate.
Oh my God, hilarious.
That's a terrifying story for
It
real.
really is.
Ay, ay, ay.
Super weird.
Okay, well, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up next for corners. My corner is a what the what corner, which is
Yes.
appropriate. This is so up my alley. Of course, we know that because it's from odditycentral.com, my favorite,
Mhm.
written by the infamous, well, maybe only to us. Maybe infamous isn't the right word.
Clearly the only contributor to Oddity Central.
Well, I think it's like oh, V is for vendetta. They all wear the same mask. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, spooky. The title of this article is Swiss Man Hit by Ghost Gunshot.
I knew
No
you'd
one
love that.
even heard. You know I love it. Didn't we just get in a fight about ghosts recently?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
well, getting ready to prove I was right. A Swiss man has found himself at the core of a modern mystery after discovering that he had been hit by a bullet that seemingly came out of nowhere. Now, this happens. It does. My dad just told me that a woman was laying in her bed watching TV a few nights ago and a drive-by happened and shot her in the leg. Yeah, so this does happen. This is a little different.
Whew.
Last Thursday, the unnamed 38-year-old man was walking with his two children and an acquaintance in Freudenfeld, a town 45 kilometers northeast of Zurich, when he felt a sharp pain in his lower body. Unable to explain the pain, the man headed to the emergency room of the local hospital where doctors informed him he had been shot. They removed the projectile and treated his wound, but neither they nor the patient could explain how the bullet had entered his body.
Whoa.
Thurgau Canton police spokesman Matthias Graf told reporters that an investigation in this bizarre case is currently underway and that there are currently no leads. Neither the shot man, the people he was with at the time of the incident, nor anyone else in the area heard any gunshot or saw someone with a firearm. It's like the bullet came out of nowhere. An accident, a crime, a shot fired from afar. We're not ruling anything out at the Graf said. At the moment. Graf said, looking for witnesses who can provide any sort of useful information. So this specialist, weapons specialist expert says he believes that there's only two possibilities that make sense. Either the man was shot with an air gun or with a small caliber weapon from a large distance. I mean, a small caliber weapon can go a large distance, but you're going to hear it. Even
Right?
a silencer, it's not like the movies. Even
Right.
a silencer is loud, right?
Mhm. I mean, you
Oh.
still hear that.
Yeah. Earhart said the large caliber projectiles are extremely fast and have devastating effects on the body. His injuries would have been correspondingly severe. In
Weird.
addition, with a weapon of large caliber, one should have heard a bang. Maybe a kid was playing with an air gun. If a small caliber weapon was actually involved, someone must have handled the firearm with gross negligence. Unfortunately, forensic experts can't find out too much from the projectile alone, as they would need a firearm to match it in order to get the full picture. So for now, police are relying on leads from members of the public. The shot man is on his way to making a full recovery. Okay, well, here's what we're not exploring. Even though the title of the article says it right there. Where were they? What war was fought on that land? This is a ghost shot. This is residual energy. This is going to happen to somebody else if we don't figure it out and cordon off that Bermuda Triangle.
I think that we just came up with a new show for you to host.
What is that?
You wander through battlefields and you pick up on the energy of the ghost soldiers.
I mean, I'm on board. I just read that article. It is not that old of an article. Let me see here. I just want to find what up here. This is very recent news.
Yes.
Yep, February 17th, 2022. What's today,
Yes.
Jessica?
The 21st.
21st. And no one is asking about the residual energy of this land. Maybe I am the person. Maybe I am.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. How does that happen?
I don't
Nobody
know.
heard a thing.
Have I heard a thing?
No, nobody heard a thing.
Oh, no,
I'm not
it's
interrogating. I
super
haven't
weird.
started my investigation yet, Jessica. I'm not interrogating you.
I hear everything, and on a nightly basis, I'm like, that was a gun. Alan's like, no, it was a car backfiring.
Okay, so your go-to is, that was a gun. My go-to is ghost. Clearly. Isn't it obvious? Kind of civil war was fought on this land. Let's get the facts, people, before we go running off with a kid had an air gun. Okay, that's my corner. What the what?
Unreal. It's
And
so
also, how do you
weird.
just go, ow? I've heard a lot of people describe bullet shots as like, I guess your body goes into a
A
mini
bee sting?
or a snake bite, and you're like, ow. First of all, I've had a bee sting. I haven't been bitten by a snake, but I can assume I wouldn't go, ow.
Okay.
I would be on the ground crying.
Yes.
And he's like, ow. And then went to the hospital and they're like, oh, wow. Yeah, you've been shot. That's insane.
It's really freaky.
Thank you, Oddity Central, for making us
Thank you,
aware. And also
Spooky.
maybe for giving me a new career path.
Not maybe. I told you, I'm gonna contact the guy who runs the ghost tours in good old San Diego, and we'll borrow his flex capacitor so you can pick up on the
I'm on board.
energies of the
I
field.
am full. I have watched enough.
Uh,
I may not have the equipment, but I know how to run it.
yes.
I watch those things close enough to go if I'm ever needed and called upon as backup for ghost hunting. I'm ready.
I also think you'd be great at decoding what they're saying, like by slowing it down to hear what they said.
Yeah, but I don't like reading into that stuff. I want facts. Okay? I'm not going to be making up. She says she likes pink bubblegum, not purple. No. Nobody's coming back from the dead to say something like that. Cardboard. Maybe she was hurt as a child with cardboard. No.
What about the video that you sent me of a woman claiming to be a medium, and she drops Sharon Stone's name in for no reason whatsoever?
I love, you're so cute that you're like that woman. My mom was obsessed with Sylvia Brown. She was on Montel all the time. She was a psychic. She's helped the cops. She was
Help the
crazy.
cops. She's like, I'm
person.
getting a sense. Who's Jim? The guy's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So she's already off. Strike one. Right off the bat.
Well,
Not even
Jim
warm.
wants to tell you need to be a little careful. Let's get on to what the real issue is. I'm like, no,
I
you
know
were
Sharon
wrong.
Stone. I'm not trying to name drop.
You are, because then you were like, she said something so random too. Like, she likes grapes. I'm like, you didn't have to tell me Sharon Stone. Like, you could say a friend of mine.
It was irrelevant, and that's why I loved it. It was so weird and hilarious.
And I love the people that she gives the information to when it's so crazy. They look at her and go, oh, okay. And in their minds, they're going, this woman just changed my whole life and everything around it, which is dangerous. Because it's weirdo false crap.
Yes.
Oh my God. But I do believe in ghosts. I am fighting a battle against my own words.
Dying right now.
Nobody's surprised. Okay, let's move on into the best part of our show, the most legit
raves.
Let's get some raves out there, Jessica.
Yes. So, you guys, we love to end our show on a high note. If you weren't high enough already with our shenanigans and whatnot. But seriously, this was very important to us from the beginning, from when we started this, before we ever even started recording, to bring something to the table that was uplifting, that's good, that's something that we can personally do in our own communities, or if you have children with their schools. I don't have kids, but as we all know, I love to act like an aunt to all of my friends' children.
Yes, absolutely.
So I love to support. Like my friend just sent me something the other day. He's like, he goes, I'm going to spam you with a bunch of emails for Dom's school. You don't have to give any. It's just, I had to send out 20 emails. I said, are you joking? I said, of course I'm going to give to his school. And
Yeah.
again, I can't give much, but
Right.
I can make a $25 donation to one of my favorite children's schools to help them have different projects that aren't being funded. You bet
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
You know, I love sharing all of these cool things that come to our attention. And please, again, we love when you guys send us raves. People, I think, sometimes think we only want to hear your rants, but please send us raves
Even
too.
if
There
it's
is,
just a good news story you heard about in your neighborhood, like, oh, hey, a college student went and got some groceries for the elderly. We want to
yes,
hear that. That is good
totally.
news. That is good. That's humanity. And
It's
it's
humanity at its
lovely.
finest, and it's
Absolutely.
refreshing. And I think we all, no matter what's going on in the world, can always use to be reminded of that and that there
100%.
is good in the world.
Yes.
So, this organization is called Dreaming Zebra. The Dreaming Zebra Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit encouraging children to embrace their individuality, to express themselves creatively, and follow their artistic dreams.
Mm.
Your gifts can help us provide art and music supplies to underprivileged children throughout the world. So, I love that it's international. There is a great website with a number of things to peruse and how you can see how you can get involved. They have many, many options. I am going to see, you guys are seeing the real behind the scenes here.
Are you looking for more?
Yeah. So I'm trying to find the different ways that you can help. So this is something that we brought up before. Well, two things. Number one, they are part of Amazon Smile. So
Oh,
you can
nice.
select them as, if you are part of Amazon to give a
Every time you place an
percentage.
order and put their like link in it, it attaches to them and gives a little proceed to that
Yeah,
organization. It's real easy. You just put a prefix in your Amazon. It's nothing.
totally. And there's so many great things to do with that.
Mhm.
In 2018, they were a top rated nonprofit. So, another thing that I think is really cool, because Dana and I always say too, that obviously money is not the only thing that talks in this world. There are other ways to donate. So, in addition to donations of materials and time, cash donations are vital to the mission of Dreaming Zebra. Funds to cover shipping, storage, and other administrative costs. Your donation is tax deductible and supports art and music education for disadvantaged youth in the community.
I think that is so important if I can just jump in because
Yes.
a lot of times arts are not supported in our public schools, not very
It's
well at the very least.
crazy.
And, I'm probably a child who would have benefited from something like this. I didn't come from a real affluent area. Those were not things that were offered to me on a regular basis. And the sad thing is, I was a weirdo little kid. I probably would have really blossomed in an environment like that.
Of course.
Uh, I love that they're encouraging them to express themselves creatively. That's amazing. But the big thing that like resonated with me was to follow their artistic dreams. I didn't know that
Yep.
my dreams were artistic. I didn't have that vocabulary when
Yep.
I was a kid. As an adult, I do. And I know that I'm an artistic, creative person. I might not be great, but that's what I am. I'm
That is
always
not
trying to
true.
find ways to express
Yes.
myself and my personality and my creativity. And there are especially a lot of underprivileged kids are not encouraged in those ways. And that became my life source. Not
Mhm.
only is it who I am, it's what I do for a living.
Yes.
I have occasionally supported myself by making jewelry and selling it in fancy boutiques. Like
Still
art,
artistic.
exactly. Every element of art that is available to a person I have somehow clinched onto, and I
Mhm.
think, "What if I had had a dreaming zebra that
I know.
encouraged that?" Because I've been
Yes.
fighting going, "I think I can do this. I think this is what I'm supposed to do. I think it's all I'm good at is art and creating things that matter." To me, art is progress. It creates progress, and
Yes.
it's a teaching tool. It's not just about being silly all the time.
No.
And I think I wonder what kind of impact children who, that side of them is embraced, what kind of an
Absolutely.
impact can they have on the world?
So that's also very interesting to piggyback on what you're saying. I thought about that very long and hard after I went to a very well appointed private school in Los Angeles
Mm,
with an art program that I don't think a lot of colleges maybe even have, including, and this was years ago, they already had 3D printers. What? I've never even seen one in real life.
mhm.
3D printers, every medium from ceramics to painting to digital media, you name it, whatever the kid was interested in, they had it. Every form of art that you could imagine. And I said to myself, after going to like, they had a open, like a gallery night or whatever with all the students, senior art night
Mhm.
for the seniors. And I'm like, what if every kid in
Have
every
access
school
to that,
had access to this,
but they
to the
don't.
same amount of books and courses, to the same kind of athletics and the equipment for that, and to arts and music.
Yeah.
It kills me, but I do a lot of fundraising for symphonies around Southern California. And there are a lot of schools now that just don't have a music program anymore.
Oh,
It's
for
just
sure.
not there. It's always the arts are always the first thing cut.
To go. And it's stupid because art does make change. It does.
Yes.
It blows my mind. I wish I had known we were going to be talking about this. I would have pulled up the article, but I literally just read an article this week that was talking about the difference in like careers and quality of life
Mm,
of children who went to private school
yep.
versus public.
Mhm.
And the main reason is because of the access to arts and
Yes.
experimental things and
Experimental. Mhm.
being given the freedom to discover who they are and what their likes are, because in a public school it's often very much about standardized testing. That's how they get their money and just showing up, but no room for any of the extra things that make someone blossom into a
Yep.
fully realized human, right? in my
Yes.
in my
How
opinion.
bad were you at standardized testing? I was
Horrible.
awful. I
Yeah.
oftentimes had to turn in blank sections.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't work like that. It
But
never
the
did.
children who are probably looking for something like that even more because it's lacking in their lives
Yep.
don't have access to it. So an
Right.
organization like Dreaming Zebra is just, I mean, literally it's a dream.
It really is. So, just to close this out, um, other ways to get involved. Obviously, there's donation. There's a monthly giving palette, which I love. So, like for $20 a month, you can sponsor a student and
Mhm.
whatnot. There's a supply wish list. You can volunteer. They do have, I looked on the map, they aren't in every state, but they're all over the country. There's multiple Dreaming Zebra organizations in states all across the country. And again, they are international. Something that I really loved about this, because we talked about this a long time ago, because I remember I got crayons. I think I gave some to Henry.
Mhm.
It was from a company that was using recycled crayons to create new ones.
Yes. They
And
melted them into different shapes like dinosaurs.
yes.
And yes.
So, the Dreaming Zebra Community Art Recycling Program serves to connect members of the community with disadvantaged youth in need of art and music resources. Our foundation is unique in that we provide an art recycling program that is free to the public. Reusable art and music supplies that would otherwise be discarded, along with new or unsold materials, are donated by individuals and businesses and matched to recipients who have requested those materials for arts education and purposes in the community.
That's so great.
I love it. Our recipients frequently include schools and community centers, at risk and homeless youth, mentoring groups, art therapy and special education programs, and other nonprofits in need, with an emphasis on diverse populations of vulnerable youth in underserved communities. Simple materials can inspire kids. This is the kind of stuff that I think we all think, like, well, I don't have that, or I don't have
I
anything
can't buy
fancy.
them a 3D printer.
We
Yeah.
all have this at home that we are sitting on and do not use. Old calendars with pictures, paper plates, buttons, yarn, thread, fabrics, popsicle sticks, pencils, beads are just a few of the simple items we can use to help kids explore their creativity.
Mhm. And also, I will just put out there, if you're wanting to give back in that way, maybe to your own school, your children's
Mm-hmm.
school, or a school nearby, they welcome that. Like, I would say twice a
Yes.
year, I ask my son's teachers, hey, do you need anything for the classroom? Do you need hand wipes? Do you need Kleenexes? Do you need crayons?
Yep.
However, you know how to say that. Color crayons. Sorry. I don't say that word right, and everybody makes fun of me. Anyway,
Crowns.
also, I frequently make a stop at Michael's, and you see popsicle sticks and fuzzy balls 70% off because they're getting new stock in.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's a guy on Instagram called the Freebie Guy, and he tells you where to go to get like really good deals on clearance and stuff like that. But what he does is he buys all that stuff up and he donates it
Love
to
it.
people in need. It's fantastic. There's ways you can do this, but also Dreaming Zebra is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly a lot of places. That's an easy way to just have a ready to go way to give back.
When you do that spring cleaning, or if your kids have outgrown it, or you're like, oh, I don't use this anymore. Like, as I'm saying it, and as I read that list, I'm going to go through and purge a lot of the arts and crafts supplies I have from Improv Utopia, from stuff that we bought 10 years ago, that sometimes I'm like, I put it out every year and no one ever touches that yarn or those beads
Time
or
to get it
whatever.
used.
But they're great and it's
Yeah.
brand new. So guess what? I'm going to send it to this place.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic. Seriously. They
Very
can make
cool.
all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for
All
sharing
right.
that.
Of course. What is your rave?
I have an exciting rave that Jessica and I both can really get on board with.
Swoon.
I know this is from a listener. This rave is about the Asher House. You've probably heard me mention at least about the guy who runs it a few times. Good morning, ladies. I remember Dana talking about following the Asher House on Instagram, the cutie patootie that rescues animals.
Mhm.
Indeed. And I wanted to let you know there's a TV show about him. It's called My Pack Life. I think it's on Discovery Plus, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that's right. I think it is on Discovery.
Now I'm going to look because I have Discovery. I'm going to be looking for this.
Yes. And as of right now, there are only 2 episodes. I live in Portland, Oregon. Oh my gosh. He's in Estacada, Oregon, a little less than 30 miles from me. Oh my God. You have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll see him one day and let you know how cute he is in person. Thanks for making me laugh, Gary. That is so amazing because I was devastated one time. I came back to LA from home.
Uh-huh.
Not only had he driven through LA while I was back at home, he had then driven through Missouri when I came back to LA. Like, we are star-crossed lovers. I'm just kidding. He is quite muscularly adorable. But I love what he does for animals.
It's beyond.
It's beyond. I'll read you a little bit from his website just because he has such a great organization going on. You can visit him at theasherhouse.com. The way that this started is he was touring around on a bus.
Yep.
With his pack of doggies, trying to help bring attention to adoption and caring for strays and all these things. So on the front page of the Asher House, it says positivity, PAWS, like a doggy. Love and laughter. We are here to help people have better days and get animals adopted. The Asher House is on a mission to make the world a better place, one rescue animal at a time. So you can shop, you can donate, you can become a Patreon. I'll read you what his mission is. The Asher House is a registered nonprofit sanctuary in Estacada, Oregon, which this has literally just happened out of the blue this year. It was so exciting because everybody knew that was something he wanted one day, but that's a big thing to take on.
Yes.
I know a listener to a former podcast of mine took not just my advice, but I feel like I may have encouraged it in some way, which scared the snot out of me, but like quit their regular daily life and opened an animal sanctuary. And that's what this guy did.
Yeah.
He was in finance and was like, this isn't making me happy. I need to help doggies find homes. And that's what he did. The Asher House is a nonprofit sanctuary. We rescue animals that have been discarded or unwanted, providing them with a life of comfort, love, and adventure. For over 2 years, our founder, Lee Asher, traveled across 49 states to promote dog adoption and spotlight various shelters and rescues. After his pit bull Stella passed away, oh, I was so attached to Stella. Lee was determined to fulfill his lifelong dream of creating a sanctuary where animals could feel treasured, protected, and free. In late 2020, Lee discovered a large parcel of property, which was the perfect setting to turn his vision into a reality. Together, we can take action and change the world one rescue animal at a time. It's so amazing because it did. It happened out of the blue. I remember when he was like, I've got a big announcement. I think I'm buying land in Oregon and I'm moving and starting an animal sanctuary. And now it's this most beautiful, like almost like a nature reserve.
Yes.
With all his dogs, a couple of donkeys.
I want to live there.
Yeah. He frequently doesn't have on a shirt and it's real cold, so we'd have to snuggle. But he's got 2 llamas now, a rescued parrot. There are so many animals that people just throw away, or sometimes someone passes and their animal's left behind, and because they're not a new fresh-faced puppy, or somebody doesn't want them. So anyway, he's trying to change that. I really love that. Thank you, Carrie, for sending that in. I will rave about Lee Asher any day.
Okay.
And I definitely want to watch that show. I've been seeing, he posted a trailer for it, which made sense to me because I was always like, he's got a professional photographer and cameraman following him constantly. His Instagram content is so good.
It's so good.
He's got like GoPros and one wheel things that he goes through the forest with all his doggies, and they run through creeks and he snows and skis. And I mean, it's incredible.
It really is.
And it's uplifting and lovely. So thank you again. That is the AsherHouse.com.
Love it.
Hey, Jessica.
Dana.
I think that's our show.
I think it is.
Oh my goodness. You want to tell everybody how to get a hold of us again?
Yes, please send in like Carrie did, and find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Rants and Raves Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Raves_the. You can send us a direct email at the Rants and Raves Podcast at gmail.com. You can also hit the contact button on our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. Dana, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm sorry that your day started out by a man watching you on the toilet. I want to let you know that I don't think that that's fair or right, and I'm sorry.
Thank you. That is greatly appreciated.
You're welcome. We like to end the show talking about things we're watching or doing or interested in, and then I give you a point to ponder for the week. Are you watching anything?
Yes, I just started a new show called Severance on Apple, which I briefly was explaining to Dana is so weird and trippy, but really good. It's a very fascinating concept. Also directed by Ben Stiller. I've always been a fan of Ben Stiller, and this is really cool work to see him doing this. I know he's directed before, but this is a really cool project. The concept is people who have agreed, they work at this very like top secret company. You get the feeling it's maybe like a tech company or something that we're not fully aware of what it is. And they have agreed to undergo a procedure which allows them to sever their memories. I mean, it's not they're volunteering to do it, but then it just happens when they come and go from work, so that you have no recollection of work life within your personal life and no recollection of your personal life within your work life. I don't want to give anything else away. That's not a spoiler. That's the premise of the show. So
it's fascinating to me.
It really is. And it's very good.
Your work life really does take over, like, especially like my husband. I wish I could do that for him. But I remember, for all you young people out there, if you haven't seen it, this was an excellent movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where you could erase a person. It's an interesting thing to think about because it's not all a good side to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You think it would
highly I think you would really love it. I highly recommend that. And then again, I'm never going to get off this train. We're moving towards the end of season 2 of Euphoria, and my God, did they really bring it this season. That show just continues to get better and better. And again, for those who are dealing with somebody who is an addict or going through issues with addiction, this season is some of the realest you'll ever see dealing with that subject. It's not a pretty subject, but it's real and it's raw and it's a huge problem all over. But we know what a crisis it is in this country.
Yeah, people I think often in the past have thought, well, that's big city problems. Not even close.
No, it's everywhere.
Mhm.
You can't hide from it. It's
Mhm.
everywhere. It's in every corner, rich, poor, every demographic.
Even the religious communities,
Yes.
Mormons have a massive problem with pill addiction because that's given to you by a doctor.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's just a real problem in the world. Well, that seems heavy.
Okay, well, I'll leave it with one fun note, but you can't watch it anymore because it's over. The Olympics.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And I don't know if you saw that poor man who was whacked in the nether regions as he came too close to the gate. He was doing a downhill skiing event.
No.
That poor man I can't talk.
Skeet.
Skeet.
The window to the wall?
Literally, he skeeted right on over that gate, and the pull from the gate went whoosh, and
Oh,
like
God.
hit him hard. And then
I hope he
you
didn't bust
hear
a
like
nut.
this weird noise, and then as he's skating away, so I keep wanting him to skate. As
Yeah.
he's skiing away, he goes, "Ooh." I can't even let out the noise that comes out. It sounded like a cartoon. And the commentator, you can tell, is in such shock. He goes, "Oh God! Oh, if you are a man, you felt that.
But did he bust
Oh,
a
the
testy?
Frenchman. Oh, Monsieur."
That could have been really like it didn't break, right? Because you can
Okay.
pop a testy.
Well, let me tell you something. As it happens, this came through while we were recording, but I got a little message from our friend and listener, Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
because I had told her about that and we were both crying. Olympian skier suffered frozen penis in race and said pain was unbearable. Remy Lindholm says the horrifying injury happened during Saturday's men's 50-kilometer mass start event, where temps dipped so low, officials actually delayed the start, even shortening the race's overall distance to try to keep competitors safe. Even with these precautions, that didn't help Lindholm, as he said after spending over an hour racing on the course, his junk turned into a popsicle. Lindholm said he
Was
needed a
it
heat
out?
pack.
Was it out? Was he using his genitalia as a windscreen?
Also, I'm crying because I read this because I thought it was about the skier that got whacked. I'm like, how did that make his penis freeze? Apparently, it's a different skier altogether.
There's a lot of injuries during the Olympics.
My God. But look at him.
Let me see. Oh, he cold. He's
I
trying
am
to keep
dying. So,
warm.
yes, you missed some.
Drama.
I really loved the commentators this year, though. I know the Olympics are over. I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to have to wait 4 more years until the next Winter Olympics. But these commentators this year were fan freaking tastic, and I loved them showing their complete disdain for the judges in several cases where it was like, nope, you're right. That person clearly went 20 feet higher than the other guy, yet he didn't get the same kind of scoring. And the same with the ice skating. Rant over.
This wasn't the rant. We were literally saying goodbye.
Dana, what are you watching?
I mean, the same thing I always
Ghost hunting.
ghosty things, crime things. South Park. Dan Tipton got me towelly tennis shoes. That was a life highlight.
Literally never been more jealous. And then I thought
So
it would
cute.
make Alan feel bad that I didn't get those shoes, but no, he was jealous because he wanted them for himself.
It's the color of them. It's who they are. Like
They're made of blue terry cloth.
Yes.
They're a dream.
They're a dream. They're so cute. And then yeah, I watched some crime stuff. Nothing too exciting that I got really wrapped up in like you just did. But I did bring a point to ponder.
Okay.
I guess we should say we'll be back again next Tuesday. Who knows if this video will be out by then, and who knows if a video will ever come out. Who knows? This is all new territory, you guys. We're
Who knows if
discovering
a
things.
video goes, you know what? I've had this image in my mind of them, and now that's been broken, and
I don't want to see it.
I'm out.
Yeah, I don't want to see they presented themselves falsely. They still are, because Dana has a green aura around her because she's using a virtual background. That is an actual picture
Hilarious.
of her real house. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's 2022. Nothing makes sense. We'll be back next Tuesday. Jessica, I
Oh
enjoyed
yeah.
it
Oh, I
immensely.
adore you.
I'm ashamed of where I got my point to ponder this week.
Why?
It just feels a little bit but I don't care. It's an interesting fact. So I'm
Okay,
gonna
do tell.
all right. Did you know that people are more creative in the shower? When we take a warm shower, we experience an increased dopamine flow that makes us more creative. I mean, bring that shower. Bring on a warm swimming pool, and I will drown myself to
Uh-huh.
be more creative. I welcome it. Hey,
Yes.
guys. Yeah, you guys, here's my message for everybody this week. Go get wet. That's good, right?
Sure.
Go get wet, Jessica.
Wet and wild.
Woo! Like it's 1997. I don't have a good memory, or I would have sang a song from 1997. Listen, I'm just a half-assed human. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
We sure will.
Love you, Jess.
Love you too.
Bye. Bye, fake real home.
Bye.
Bye.